Hello and welcome to Grand Oak Raceway, where today we're going to be using the Acura NSX. You don't see this car around too often in the touring car series, maybe one or two but every other race, so I thought why not give it a little try and see what it's all about. To be fair, I did do a very poor tune on this car. I made a few minor adjustments here and there, so this first race was quite just getting used to the car. And as it is the first race, things were kind of everywhere. I didn't qualify, started pretty much down the back end of the pack, quite a busy lobby, which is really nice. A few cars did go off the track as we went round our first corner, nothing surprising right there. Coming round here now, third gear, coasting it through and accelerating out the other side. You see the back end stepping out just a little bit there and trying to bring it back in. I really did not have any downforce on the rear of this car, and I think that is where I first messed up this tune. I took away all the rear downforce. Lesson learnt, don't do it. Whack some downforce back there because this car needs it. Anyway, coming down here just as the curb starts, braking down to third gear, turning in and accelerating to the side. Did lock up a little bit in the first initial braking, but luckily enough we didn't end up going off track. From around this corner, going a little bit wide, there we go, and accelerating to the side. Coming down the hill, we'll be flat out, trying to get as much slipstream off the Porsche up in front as I can. You see the Ferrari going wide there. Gonna see, am I in the toe of that Ferrari? It's hard to tell. Braking at the side, down the fourth gear, coasting it round this corner, start accelerating up the hill. As soon as we get to about here, as the curb, the pit exit line finishes, you want to be braking down the third gear and down to second. Coming around this corner, accelerating round, and getting a little bit twitchy on the exit of the corner again. Like I say, I have no rear downforce, so accelerating out of a corner is kind of sketchy, as there are signs going everywhere. I'm going to try and make a move in this BMW, go up the inside here, and I totally missed my braking point. Yeah, the BMW claps on the side of me and I just accelerate round and give myself the old spinneroo. Lesson learnt right there. Make sure you actually hit your braking point and don't get distracted. And also, you want to take that corner a lot wider than I just did. And if you do take it as shallow as I did, make sure you go a little bit slower because it was never going to end well. It really wasn't. That was the theme of this race. It never was going to end well. I mean, I did make up a good few places, then I accelerated a little bit too early and stayed committed to the acceleration, and then totally lost control and couldn't bring it back. So I paused the game because there was cars coming up behind. I did not want them to be involved in my absolute shenanigan right there. So pausing the game makes me ghost out. They can go through without being caught up in whatever I was going through at that moment. It's only fair that way. And I end up finishing the race in P12. So overall, I did make up a few places from where I started. But that race was, oh, that was terrible. Oh, one place I made up, one place. Yeah, that was terrible on my part. Let's go back and do this again. Started off the race in position 15, again down the pack. Added downforce to the rear of this car because it really needed it. But I've got to be honest, this car, the way it comes off the line is absolutely insane. There was plenty of scenarios where I pulled off the line and it just went through cars like they wasn't even there. So I've got to give credit where credit is due. This car is great off the line, and to be fair, it does handle really well once you actually tune it properly. That's all I can say. Yeah, lesson learned right there. And also try and not do stupid moves like diving up the inside when you said it wasn't going to work. A bit like that car that went over into the build the sandcastles. Yeah, these races were very elbows out, I am not going to lie. As we're heading down to this sharp corner now, as soon as the road is on your left hand side, braking down the third gear, over the curb on the left hand side, accelerated out of the corner and up the hill we go. Corvette went off a little bit and lost a lot of speed coming out of that corner. Luckily enough, I managed to make that position. What, about 8 wide in front of us right now? It's going to get messy. Yeah, there's the mess. We're going to just breeze through that. Overall, we come out the other side in position 9. Can't grumble at that. Around this corner, the Aston goes into the back of me, and for some unknown reason, I guess they had no idea that there's a brake pedal and also a car in front of me, so where am I meant to go? Anyway, Mustang Killer behind in the Aston Martin, good choice of car, has created quite the gap from me right now. Coming around this corner, the Lamborghini in front goes over the curb. We're looking at a braking point down to third gear, coasting it around this corner, down with the brakes again, down to second, and you see the Aston Martin massively caught up behind us because everybody is getting very close to each other and then trying to give each other a bit of space, which ultimately slows us all down overall. Not going to grumble too much at that. The Aston Martin, I do think it is maybe a little bit faster than this Acura, but they're going to take the inside line here right now. Going to be braking down in third gear. I can see they just backed out. That is very lucky. Going to go the inside of the Lamborghini. A little bit of contact there was made. We obviously a bit more contact as we both overtake the, I think that's an M8. Braking down to third gear here, and you can see I pretty much lost 2 positions there as me and the Lamborghini had a little bit of contact and we were both a bit sloppy through that corner. VNX ATNL, however you say that, was a bit slippy coming out of the corner. Surprisingly, they held on to it. Credit where credit's due right there. I was hoping they will go off. Me and the Porsche on the right hand side, I think the Porsche has a little bit more go in it than I do. I'll be braking earlier, keep up the inside line. The Mercedes has a little bit of a weird moment there. It had a lot of where is he going? Well, you know, I don't have to worry about the Mercedes much anymore. Oh no, they didn't go that far off track. Yep, there is a lot of elbows out in this race as we're trying to make it through. Porsche goes through. I go into the side of the Porsche. Yeah. We have very, very sharp elbows. Coming up beside the Lambo. Oh no, the Lambo's leaving me behind. There's nothing I can do about that. Break into this corner down to third gear. Grab that curb left hand side. Use the Lambo a tiny little bit to hold myself in the road. Luckily enough, no harm, no foul. Oh no, the Mercedes is working with the Lamborghini to give him a bit of a speed boost. Oh, that's a bit unfair. I've got the slowest one here, I think. A bit, you know, help us out. Oh. Anyway. Coming up too wide with the Porsche isn't going to work, so I back out. I'd rather not be punted off into the grass on the right hand side. It really does destroy your time. It just sucks you in and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'd rather lose a position than lose several by just being too aggressive. I'm going to take a little bit of a step back here, reassess the situation and be a bit more smart about what I'm doing here. You can see, let everybody else fight and I can slip through the middle rather than be a party of the fight and then wonder why I'm off the track. Coming towards the end of lap 7, we did make a few more places up as well as everybody's gone into pits. I decided to extend the lap by 1 more lap and then I'll have medium tyres that last a little bit longer and hopefully not get worn like they are at the end of this race. It's sometimes better to extend that lap and get away from all the other cars and then hopefully set a better lap time. Thus, when you come out the pits on the other side, you're ahead of the situation that you was trying to fight through, if you understand what I mean. But as we are in the pits right now, I'd like to take a moment to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport and Phoenix Aster. Thank you very much guys for supporting the channel, and whilst we're exiting the pits, why not just look down the screen and hit that subscribe button for me. We're really not that far away from the next milestone, which is 1,000 subscribers, so it would be a massive help out if you could hit that button for me. Come out of the pits out the other side. I don't like the way these new pit exits are. We are pretty much thrown out to the wolves. You can see a little bit of tail out happiness right there. Front tyres are cold because the pit exit takes so long now. Coming around this corner, trying to get them a little bit warmed up, just letting the car slide a little bit and creating a bit of friction burn on the tyres. Right, we have come out the other side in position 8. Cannot grumble too much of that. Player position 1 has not pitted. Yeah, that's the name that you've got for position 1. 41 seconds ahead. That is quite a lead. If they're doing a no-stop strategy, that would explain about a good 30 of those seconds, to be fair. Oh no, they're pitting now. Yep, well, we've got to pit sometime. They must have chosen hard tyres. They're going to go into soft tyres for the latter half of this race, possibly. And that means they're going to be much quicker out the other side. As we start our last lap, Looking at leaderboard right now, we're in position 6, which is pretty good, I'm not going to lie, from what we started off as. We do have quite the lead from Brunux08, which is 6 seconds behind me with a 4-second penalty. And we are not really catching up to Untitled Duck 861 up in front. They have a 4.1 second lead upon me, whilst the leader right now has a 22 second lead, which is quite substantial really. If you look at the whole race overall, the leader has massively gained upon everybody else. It was really, for them, it wasn't any elbows out, any carnage and that. They had a great start off the line and off they go, and they can keep that momentum going as long as they're consistent, whereas we, along with everybody else, was really fighting for our positions, and the fighting is what really eats your time overall. Coming around this corner in 3rd gear, front right hand tyre has minor wear on it now. Onto the curb, bring it back over, accelerating as much as we can and crossing that line with position 6 overall. I can do better than that. I'm going to do better than that. Let's go back to Grand Oak again and let's do this again. Starting off the race in position 5, there wasn't actually that many in this lobby. That was pretty odd, to be fair. I don't know why. I've been doing this all day. Anyway, starting off at the start line, you can see the way this car really does send it as you pull away. Taking up the side of the Mercedes, going to go wide, trying not to be involved in any of that contact. I'm going to rub it up this curb, give everybody a bit of space because I do not want to be punished and whacked off the track or even get a silly penalty. Oh, look at that. Contact already. Lovely. Coming at the inside here, you can see the BMW behind me is looking to make that move. I'm going to hold them at bay, come out through here, accelerate as much as I can. This is where this car really does excel, is in mid-corner acceleration. And you see that left that BMW M8 behind, catching up to the Corvette up in front and the Mercedes, and they're going quite wide with each other. That is going to slow them down. I'm going to go up the left hand side and absolutely send it. The Ferrari though, I'm never going to compete with that. That car is absolutely quick. I'll be braking a little bit late there, compromising my next corner. Oh dear. Well, we're still on track. The Ferrari isn't though. The Ferrari is being a bit messy. Thankfully though, that means I can benefit from that. I'm going to send it up the right hand side now. You see the Ferrari's gone off track in the rear view mirror. Going over this curb on the left hand side, absolutely flat out through this section now. Problem I've got is that Mercedes is hauling me in, got on my slipstream and everything. Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, gonna try and breathe on that Mercedes, close that door a little bit. Contact had been made, but luckily enough, nobody was injured in the process of that contact, so no harm, no foul, it is what it is. Going around this corner now, trying to keep the Corvette at bay, because really that is my main challenge. These Corvettes are pretty quick. Going around this corner now, 3rd gear, sliding it out just enough, but keeping the power on. You see position 1 is 2.5 seconds away. That is quite a lead. Over the curb we go, accelerating out the other side, and see how much straighter this car is with some rear downforce. So that is a lesson to be learned. Get some really downforce on the back end of this car. Braking down to 3rd gear here, rubbing the curb on the right side, dab on the throttle as coming round here, and then letting off a little bit, just feathering that brake pedal till you see the hut on the left hand side, passing that hut, accelerate out the corner. Maybe not as slippy as I did, but you get the drift. Well, excuse the pun. Anyway, coming around here, Corvette is on my left hand side, squeezing me really into the blue. I don't want to go there, so I'm going to brake a little bit early, and contact had been made. I don't know why they're going a little bit slow there, and funny enough I didn't see any brake lights come on, so I'm not too sure what the step back was. Maybe it could be a ping related issue or something like that, but the two cars up in front have managed to sneak that position past me. So I'm really going to have to see if there's another way I can try and lose the cars. And if I do overtake them again, I need to break that slipstream so they can't reel me back in on the straights. This is a fast track with fast corners, and that's where this Acura really does excel, is in mid corners and fast corners. And I've got to really push upon that and try and break away from everybody else that has brute force on their side. Right, finished the rambling, coming around here. Robbie AV80 is leaving me behind a little bit. Thankfully though, if they're in front of me, that means I have a little bit slipstream as we go down the straight, and if they have brute force on the side, I might be able to reel in position 1. Not too sure what car position 1 is in, but I didn't check. But we are going to have a good run down the straight. Braking as we go under the sign into 4th gear, coasting it around this corner. Going up, accelerating out to the side. As soon as the pit line from being a solid becomes staggered, onto the brakes down to 3rd gear, then down to 2nd gear, come around this corner. I go into 3rd gear for better stability and going around this corner. Revs are a little bit low, but you do seem far more stable and less likely to slide as you're going around. So dependent on how your car behaves, 2nd or 3rd gear is really down to just control of the vehicle. Coming through here, 3rd gear, could have gone through much faster through there, was a little bit slow because I was unsure on the cars in front. I didn't want any contact. Corvette is moving over, squeezing the door a little bit, going to brake as soon as the curb starts in left hand side, down to 3rd gear, and I was hoping to do the old switcheroo and outbrake the Corvette, but it didn't work. Corvette did go a little bit off track, but it really didn't compromise their run coming out this corner. Gonna go on the right hand side here, going wide, a little bit slippy here, and sloppy is the word for it. And I had an illegal pass for some reason. Yeah, okay, whatever. 0.8 of a second, it is what it is. Yeah, I think the penalty system does need a bit of a looking at. Yes, I was on the lawn when I passed that car, but when I started overtaking, I was on the black stuff. So, you know, maybe better car control from my part as well would have alleviated that penalty. All is not lost though, because I can see the BMW clawing me in behind, and if the Corvette and the Mercedes start battling each other a little bit more, we might be able to take that position from them. Going a bit wide through this corner now, could have again done that much better, and accelerating up the hill we go. Look how much time I lost from just taking that one corner very sloppy. Braking as the curb starts on left hand side, down to 3rd gear, coasting it through this corner. You can see the Corvette has really caught up to the Mercedes, so that only really benefits us overall. Position 1, Danley. Where did position 1 disappear to? I got distracted, followed them off track, but thankfully I didn't lose too much of a time compared to them. Corvette pretty much cuts off the BMW, and a bit of contact has been made. So that's only going to slow the BMW down and increase my lead. BMW is 0.7 seconds away. As we come out the pits on the other side of the end of lap 7, I again extended the lap time of those tyres and see if I have a bit of stale area. You see the Corvette is coming around that corner rather fast. They did pit a lap before me, but I'm not going to really worry too much about it. If I can stay consistent and I can stay on the track, I'm going to really have this one in the bag. That's what I'm hoping for. Corvette does have a 1.5 second penalty to boot, as well as a well, I'm leading upon them. 2 seconds away from me right now. Position 3, which is Darin Zira 6208. They are in the BMW. 6 Ohio 0247. Not too sure what they're in. I can't remember what the Mercedes driver's name was. Never mind, we are keeping our lead. I've got to try and make sure I keep this 2 second lead, if not extend it as much as I can, and really be consistent rather than, you know, messing up like I have done in the last few races. And that's pretty much what I did overall towards the end of the race. You can see I have a 5 second lead from position 2 right now. Robbie got overtaken by the M8, but we have won the race. It's got to be worth hitting that like button. Thank you all for watching. I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.